As Professor Gulliver so eagerly pointed out, our marble bed cannot be considered a perfect meal until we load it with a sufficient quality of ascorbic acid. The problem is all the citrus fruit varieties grown in labyrinths have distressingly low value of that key nutrient. They say it has something to do with how the full sun cannot entirely replace the effects of natural sunlight. Thus, for our purposes, we are unlikely to improve the minerals simply by adding labyrinthic arches or two to the list of ingredients, and yet the professor claimed to have managed to beat. The question is, how? He synthesized the acid himself. He lied about using produce from within labyrinths. He lied. I bet he lied. He lied. I doubt. Single-minded though he may be, the person is not a man to bend the facts when it comes to scientific method. I think it's more like he manufactures his own source using elements extracted from the available materials. The process he employed, however, is a mystery. I don't know. I do not know why. I don't understand why stations and stuff do that online. Like, are you still there? It's like, let me just play the station or the videos and stuff. It would take me months to research a manufacturing method from scratch, but we cannot allow the professor to submit his panel unopposed. We need to consult with another expert on the subject. Razahan is it's the home of alchemy. One of its noted practitioners, Master Galvaz, is the Near East leading authority on nutritional science. I've never had the pleasure myself, but perhaps he will ascend to an audience if we show up on his doorstep. The new Aetheryte allows us to travel to Thavnair directly, so that should save us some time. Let's be swift and sure. We might have to work on efficient. I feel sick to my stomach, but it's nothing compared to the nausea I suffered after one bite of the professor's panel. Come now. Come on. We'll find Master Javaz in the city proper. So this is the fabled city of Razahan. It's even more vibrant than I imagined. Yes, this is my first visit to Thavnair. To be perfectly honest, this is the first time I've ever left Charlotte. What of you, Ronald? Have you been here before? Many times. Then you can lead the way. Study the layout of this place from top to bottom on parchment. But in the flesh, I'd probably get us lost before we begin 10 steps. The documents I read mention Master Java's affiliation with the High Crucible of Alchemia. I wonder though. The man should be getting on in years, and he may very well be retired. Anyway, it's somewhere to start. Let's head there now and see if he's still in residence. I have to actually run. Okay. Now that is an impressive piece of chemical apparatus. I wager they could concoct almost any mixture they please in such a grand furnace. Ugh, it's just some lingering sick. Yeah, it's this place is crazy. I mean, look at this. They're just pumping out freaking all kinds of craziness here. Javas? Never heard of the fella. He may have worked here once, but I know no one of that name amongst my present colleagues. I suppose he's retired extra. Actually, considering his age, there's no guarantee that the man is even... let us assume he's still among us for the moment. Shall we continue our inquiries on the floor over the line? Look at this place. Look. They've spared no expenses on this facility. When it comes to the field of alchemy, it would seem that Razahan is miles ahead of everyone else, even the learned professors of Charlene. They're looking for a Jarvis, the alchemist. That would be my great-grandfather, but it's been quite some time since he last worked here. Great-grandfather, he was a great man. He is. Over 100 summers young and still going strong. As a prominent scholar of nutrition and health, he's always practiced what he preaches. Why? He's even spry enough to visit the tavern from time to time. If you head over to Mara Mayhan, you might chance to see him there. It's wonderful news, thank you. I'm very eager to meet him. Hey, have it, Ronald. Our next destination is Mara. Oh dear, Etherite Travel did not agree with me. And away, and there we go. she just went right through the wall. Oh, no, oh my. Authentic Danish curries. That spicy aroma is to die for. As much as I would like to sample all the food on offer, my gourmet research will have to wait. There we are. Where are you? I don't see anyone who matches the portrait from the books. Which makes sense considering how young he was in the particular picture. I wonder what he... Ah. Don't you worry now, young lady. I'll brew a remedy that'll put you back on your feet in that way. Thank you, sir. I feel ever so much better. I've never heard of a bout of vital sickness lasting this long. Oh no, my dear, you're quite clearly suffering from a severe case of anemia and anemia. All the symptoms point to a lack of ascorbic acid. Without that nutrient, your body has trouble absorbing iron, which in turn leads to thinning blood, a disturbing pallor, and extreme fatigue. The medicines I give you will remedy the immediate issues, but I strongly suggest you rethink your dietary habits. We won't want your youthful promise stolen by the favorite case of scurvy now, will we? Alright, think about it. I've been eating nothing but animal samples since we started all this. It stands to reason that our yet to be perfected meals would leave me low on us. Maybe I almost made the same mistake as Mervyn. Your knowledge of the nutritional science are most impressive, Master. Oh, it's just plain old Java these days, my dear. I'm retired now, but I've learned a thing or two about healthy eating and longevity over the years. You are, I knew it. You study nutrition, I keep seeking wisdom from the foremost expert in the field, that being you, of course. If you know of a viable laboratory method for manufacturing ascorbic acid, struck me in the process. Isn't this a coincidence? It wasn't long ago that a professor from your study approached me to solve that exact same dilemma. Well, now we know who, yes, I know of a method. I was the one who discovered it, but the sweat on my brow comes at a price. No matter which one at that outrage. The professor paid it without so much of a raising of my eyebrow, but I'm afraid the cost of my services is beyond the means of an average student. So it hardly seems fair to turn you away at the gate. I'll tell you what, why don't I make you a deal? You see, I've always been a lover of curries, but when you've eaten as much as I have, you begin to grow tired of the same Hannish flavors. And I recently came to learn of an Parisian-style curry plate. I'm desperate to try. I've obtained the recipe from a trader, and I've even gone so far as to gather ingredients so the cook here can take a stab. But now destiny has set him fit to drop a pair of Western travelers in my lap. Who better to make Western cuisines than the natives of those lands, eh? But here's my offer. You prepare the curry, and I'll teach you the method, provided my palate is particularly tickled. You accept, I promise you will make the most delicious curry you've ever tasted. The other visitor was most certainly Professor Galavucci, which means the process he learned is one which can be followed using resources from Labyrintos. What's more, Eurasian curry is one of the last stand's most famous dishes. I've made it many times. First, you caramelize the onions to bring out the sweetness. The boring. Add the bouillon. Dice your choice of meat and stew it until tender. Be sure to skin the floaty bits from the water, of course, and then save it for the kitchen. So I did. Anyway, yes, I know all the steps aside from mixing the golden spice. Who's the one to prepare that ingredient? You could take care of that part. I'd be more than happy to handle everything else. As I said, I have all the ingredients you need and more besides. Cook away and let me know if you're running low on anything. Ah, my mouth is watering already. Let's do this. What's this? Whoa. Oh, maybe? Oh. How is this how's that spice mixture coming along? It's all set. It smells wonderful. This will give our curry the perfect amount of zest. So this is what Eurasian curry looks like. The color, the aroma, so different from what we serve here. Now for the all-important taste. That's the most important part. Yeah, it tastes good. Never had curry, to be honest. Is it to your liking, sir? Fantastic. The more you eat, the more the layers of flavor are compounded into a harmonious orchestra of deliciousness. They say you can taste the chef's intention in a meal, and your determination to impress me has infused every bite. Then you'll share your method? Of course I will. A meal such as that is worth more than a man's weight in gold. So, coconut milk is the key? Thank you so much. There is one more thing I would ask, if I may. What is your opinion? What, in your opinion, is the biggest secret to health and long life? Well, buying down is important, no doubt about that. But I believe you must enjoy what you eat. It always seems to me that digestion is aided by how much one relishes a meal. And the better one's digestion, the more nutrients one body absorbs. Exactly. I've often thought the same myself. You've been a great help to us, sir. We wish you many more years of healthy living to come. The man's gonna outlive us all somehow. And although I would love to more thoroughly explore Razahan's gourmet delights, we must hurry back to the Charlian. Perhaps another time. Such a glorious meal. If enjoyment truly does improve one's health, then I think I just added 10 years to my life. Oh, I wish it was that simple. I wish enjoying things would add years, at least months to your life. Because that's the thing. You can have all the nutrients you want, but there's other things that go with living a healthy and happy life, like enjoying your life and having fun and relaxing. And thank you, Ronald, for accompanying me to such a far-flung locale and on such short notice. I don't know if I could have secured that alchemical process for your assistant, but now that we have it, our next batch of Merlin bread will be well and truly perfect this time, for certain. What's that? Perfectly delectable. Oh, Ronald. Been trying to make that aspartic acid. I've done exactly as instructed, followed the steps of the letter, but it's all ends in failure. As bearing as it is to admit, I simply lack the expertise. The process requires a far more competent hand than mine. And here I am at the last, asking for your help once more. Please, you need to manufacture the additive that will perfect our perfect meal. Of course. What would you all do without me? Way I wanna fly. 160, okay. Coconut milk. Oh boy. 20. 24? Yeah, 24. 6 sap, 6 seeds. Six seed. Why is it in a box though? Yeah. All our marrow bread needs is a variable assorting additive. I may have failed in additive, but I have faith you will succeed. Oh wait, I gotta make this stuff. Hang on. One button. That I forgot. That's not the one. What is this blessing nonsense? Go. You asked for 6. Here we go. Incredible. It's practically glowing with goodness. With this added to our creation, I have every confidence that the bread will pass any test that cared or subject to it. Except for one. Your additive, well, added to the mix. I put a batch of marrow bread in the oven to bake. It should be ready any moment now. This is it, the final fluffy result of much trial and error. It looks so familiar. No, no. Have a bite. And how does it taste? Like streams of flavor blending into a single river of ambrosial delight. Wow, that's detailed. Pulling the texture. You're biting into the. It's like natural law has been bended to create this one moment of unparalleled puppy crust. Think of the aroma. It's like a siren scent. Temptation which no mortal stomach can resist. I thought. It's a perfect balance of nutrients. And I have you to thank for this delectable achievement. Yes, I believe this current incarnation America has a good chance of swaying the forum in our favor. You're attending the evaluation, aren't you? In fact, I must... Wait a sec. The consummate baker. Delicious. Starting in cuisine. This is it, Ronald. The forum is ready to begin the evaluation progress. We've worked tirelessly on perfecting our submission, and I have every confidence that Man on Bread will be the winning candidate. Come, let's make our way to the rostra, shall we? So I guess what's his name is probably gonna just give them their loaf of bread. His loaf, which is just what it was at the beginning, instead of the improvement version. Okay. And we're gonna give them the better one. I know I said I was confident, but the thought of actually standing before the forum has my stomach in all in knots. Courage, courage, the brave, courage. Bread. The colleagues, we have convened today to evaluate and select a suitable candidate for a proposed meal substitute. As previously discussed, this meal substitute will serve as an emergency provision, such as when our usual sources of food are restricted or otherwise unreliable. To be considered viable, a submission must satisfy our strict conditions, namely, it must be possible to prepare the meal using only the ingredients available in Laniatos, and that it also provides all the nutrients necessary to sustain day-to-day survival. Our first of two candidates is the Panaloaf. I'm sure you are all familiar. The second is Melvin Bread, submitted by one Mr. a student of the Faculty of Medicine. You heard him, right? He's like, oh, about the pan of bread. It's like, you're all too familiar with. It's like, you can see people just slowly pushing it away. It's like, do we have to eat this? Members of the council will select one of these candidates following a thorough nutritional analysis and trial consumption of the samples provided. In other words, it has to be kept down. If they can't actually eat it, then you fail. They ate them. Both submissions meet the basic nutritional requirements to qualify as meal replacements. And as they share the same nutritional value, the only consideration left to judge is upon the taste. Even being generous, it would be difficult to describe the flavor of Panaloaf as pleasing. Maryland bread, on the other hand, is a culinary delight. On the grounds of the assortment, Maryland bread is clearly the superior choice. I beg to differ. Yes, I admit the Panaloaf bread has little to offer in the way of enjoyment. Have you considered the matter from the viewpoint of efficiency? Oils, not to mention a particular variety of yeast. An involved process which demands excess time and mind, allowing one to manufacture the same quantity of food, but yeah, sure, we can make yours faster, but would you really want to eat it? Actually, have you... The one question you should always ask when you make food, Are you willing to eat it? If you can't eat your own food that you make, then surely nobody else is going to want to eat it. I implore you to reconsider your decision. After all, this is an emergency and not some gourmet. You raise about a personal community will overlook the question of efficiency. Should a situation arise that supplier measurement and ease of manufacture would certainly be a primary. In that respect, your panel holds a significant advantage. But I might offer an opinion. The man himself. That's do we owe this unexpected pleasure? Curiosity mostly. I may be retired, but all this talk of a perfect meal piqued my interest. Wait, I know you. Oh. And I know your delicious Melvin bread. It is unfortunate fact that fine food is oft regarded with contentment here in the Charlian. Many see the pursuit of gourmet cuisines as a trivial distraction, an inefficient use of one's precious time. Yet when a tired researcher craves a refreshing cup of sweet tea, is it a question of simple desire, or is it the body's way of signaling the lack of a certain nutrient? Sometimes you got it. And what of the comfort afforded by those inefficient tastes and flavors? Surely we have all experienced the calm and reassurance provided by a hearty meal. The same principle can be observed with the soothing familiarity of home-cooked favorites, while when my academic conditions are frustrated by some intraceable problem, it is for that very soothing effect that I visit my beloved last stand. As such, I submit that taste play a far greater role in our well-being than simple enjoyment. Imagine, if you will, a prolonged crisis, and then tell me which of these foods would you prefer to consume day after day after day? Faced with a struggle to survive, which of these meals would best serve to bolster your mental and emotional fortitude? To be precisely honest, the very thought of eating panaloaf for more than a single day brings me to the edge of panic. Hardly a state one wishes to be in with dealing with a crisis. I mean, imagine the fact you're in an emergency and a crisis. I'm realizing, like, the time to eat something is coming. Like mealtime is coming, and you have to, in the back of your mind, at the same time of doing it, it's like you have to eat that horrible bread, knowing that that would cause you to be upset all the time. Having to force that down. Yes, even when taking into account the additional effort required in its preparation, a satisfying meal is more like to contribute to a rational frame of mind, which in the long run may prove to be a more efficient benefit. Now that all interested parties have made their arguments, the time has come to put the matter to a vote. Say what you will, that Panalope bread is disgusting. The result speaks for itself. For themselves. Panalope 1 vote, Manor 5 votes. Congratulations, Minto. Your submission has been accepted as Charlene's official emergency meal replacement recipe. Professor, your research is still very much. Oh boy. Well, that was a near thing. At least until our last supporter chimed in. I never knew he was a former member of the forum. I'd say we can safely call this the end of the matter, although there's one last thing I would like to ask of you, Ronald. Despite his rigid way of thinking, is not a bad person. Perhaps I can make him a nice meal to soften the blow of his loss with a little expert help. I'll get my apron. I knew you could be serious. When you have a moment, come and meet me at the last stand. I don't care what anyone says. It's like... Now, as the professor's meal, I thought we might make him a serving of fish cakes, one of our local specialties. According to Master Norn, used to eat them all the time during their starting years. To prepare the fish cakes, you take white fish and some onion and grind it into a paste. Add milk and pepper and knead well. Then sprinkle in the flour before rolling the mixture into oval shapes and frying them in a boiling hot oil. You don't need the entire recipe. I would like you to prepare the all-important fish paste. The rest of the dish, you can leave to me. If you find yourself lacking ingredients, clarify it. Okay. Ask and you shall receive. I'd pay to see you wipe the frown from that sour-faced grump. Right. Let's get cooking. Hold on. Okay, we got it. Nice. How was your part? There you go. Perfect. This will be the ingredient which brings the whole dish together. I've already sent a message to him asking him to meet us here. He hasn't eaten yet. Why did you send for me? To talk Me with your victory in a place which I care for the least? Of course not, sir. We only wanted to offer you this meal as a gesture of goodwill. Please eat. Enjoy. Yes, good. There may be they may be simple dishes, but Charlemagne does have its own local specialties. The art of quality cuisine was never wholly absent from our culture, despite what people think. I would never argue the importance of nutrition, but I believe what Master Java says is true. Enjoyment of a meal tends to encourage digestion and thus a more efficient intakes of nutrients. When I first proposed the recipe of Archon loaf, I did so with Marvin in mind. He was always so focused on his research that he neglected his dietary needs, and I thought to devise a convenient yet nutritious source of subsistence. He was taken from me before I had the chance to complete it. I was grief stricken, angry at the loss of my friend, and his gourmet lifestyle became the target of my rage. Though it pains me to admit it, he was responsible for his own actions. It was wrong for me to lay the blame on the thing he loved most. Loved too much, it seems. And after considering the arguments laid out at the evaluation, I'm forced to recognize that taste is an integral part of my work. I shall begin research on a new perfect meal, one that will taste even better than your vaunted Marvin bread. But Marvin bread is never solely ours, Professor. It was your research and your panel loaf which provided the nutritional basis for our recipe. Ron and I simply improved the palatability while maintaining the balance which made it healthy in the first place. Oven bread is as much your creation as it is mine or Ronald's, which is why I implore you to continue improving it. With your resources and expertise, there is no one better positioned to solve the recipe's lingering issues with inefficiency. In that case, I shall need an assistant. Together, you and I will test the boundaries of what is possible in the field of gourmet health cuisine. Speaking of fast foods, I do have one complaint about those fish cakes of yours. They were too few. I seem to recall the dish being much larger back when Mel and I used to eat them. Are there any more perchance? I'm I'm actually hungry. Can we hurry this up? I do believe that was the first time I've seen the professor smile. I'm glad our fish cake special had a desired effect. But work at both the Studium and the Last Stand has just begun. I have an entire city to convince of the benefits of fine dining. Fortunately, it seems the professor is on our side now. We can expect the laboratory's research to expand into taste related fields, and as part of my ongoing mission, I will do my utmost to see that it succeeds. I guess this place is well suited for the study of flavor based nutrition. We begin our research into more efficient preparation methods immediately. And thought my days of frantic baking were over. I'd better wash out my mixing bowl. Thank you for all your help, Ronald. I could not have asked for a more perfect kitchen mate. Please do come and visit me from time to time, both at the study and as a valued patron of the last stand. There it is. Faculty of Medicine is complete. So what now? Winning bread. There's 2 more left. Like I said, it's because of Final Fantasy XIV that I've dove so deep into like crafting and gathering and in search of the Azure Star. What's this? Carpenter, I guess? Yeah, Carpenter. Like I said. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break. I need to eat something after all that food talk.